week 17 of the fantasy basketball season. And here we go. It's first week of the playoffs in most fantasy leagues. So here's a few centers that can help you in the playoffs and hopefully advance you to the next round, then the finals. The first guy is Isaiah Stewart at the Detroit Pistons. So Stewart, he's been on this waiver wire list probably the last 3 or 4 weeks here at the center position. On the season, he's ranked 166 in fantasy basketball, 7.1 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, 1.1 blocks a game, 65% from the foul line, and 57% from the field. But the last couple weeks, he's ranked 70th in fantasy basketball, 12 points a game, 9.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1.4 blocks a game, 67% from the field, and 60% from the line. So Stewart, he's an intangible guy here for this Piston team. And like I've been saying over the other videos, that he's a guy that reminds me of Ben Wallace with the hustle and the muscle right here. In the last few games, this guy's been on a tear for this Piston team with some huge stat lines and double-doubles. And if you need a guy who's going to block shots, have a good field goal percentage, and put up double-doubles, Stewart's definitely the guy for you. And right now, his ownage is jumping up the board right now. He's gone up 15% in the last couple days as Stewart, but he's still available in 57% of fantasy leagues, and definitely worth an ad. April 14th versus the Clippers, 12 points, 8 rebounds, a steal, and a block. April 16th versus the Thunder, the best game of his career, 15 points, 21 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. And then 2 nights ago at Washington, 19 points, 12 rebounds, an assist, and a 3. So Stewart, he's doing it all. He's blocking shots. He's hitting a 3-pointer a game as well for owners. And he's got all the playing time he's going to get in the world here with this Piston team. So he's definitely worth an ad at the center position. Once again this week, the second guy is Vernon Carter Jr. of the Charlotte Hornets. So Vernon Carter, he's starting to get some playing time with this Hornet team. And he's an ad probably in most deeper leagues, but we've seen him explode in a ball game a couple nights ago. On the season, 50th, 2.4 points a game, 1.4 rebounds, 2 assists a game, 80% from the foul line, and 48% from the field. In the last couple weeks, his playing time has gone up as Carey Jr. 8 points a game, 2.7 rebounds for him, 52% from the field. So Carey Jr., he was playing sporadic minutes, but the last few games, they're giving him an opportunity over here in Charlotte with all the injuries and just them out of the playoff hunt, most likely, with Hayward and LaMelo Ball out for the season. April 16th at Brooklyn, 21 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, a block, and a 3. And then last night versus Portland, he just couldn't get anything going. 7 minutes played because of foul trouble. So right now, he's a speculative ad in deeper leagues here is Carey Jr. He's available in 99% of fantasy leagues, but he's definitely a player to keep an eye on. And this week, he has 3 games coming up, so I think he could be pretty solid this week in fantasy basketball. The next player is Kevon Birch of the Toronto Raptors. So Birch, he left the Orlando Magic after he got bought out in a surprising move. And he really didn't go to a contender here. He went to Toronto, his hometown, so he's getting playing time, and he's producing, is Birch. He's ranked 238th on the season, 5.7 points a game, 5.2 rebounds, and assist a game, 72% from the foul line, and 45% from the field. In the last few weeks since he landed in Toronto, 7.5 points a game, 5.3 rebounds, 63% from the foul line, and 48% from the field for Birch. So Birch, he's playing about 30 minutes a game since he landed with the Raptors. And this Raptor team, like I mentioned, they're not really in the hunt, even though they've won 3 in a row now. But it's still going to be tough for them to make it in this playoff race or even get that 10th seed here for the playing game. And Birch, over the last few games, April 14th versus the Spurs, 14 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 2 blocks. April 16th versus Orlando, 7 points, 6 rebounds, a steal, 3 blocks. And then last night versus the Thunder, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a block, and a 3-pointer. So Birch right now, he's going to get some points. He's going to get a few rebounds. And he's a block specialist as well for fantasy owners and this Raptor team. And right now, he's available in 85% of fantasy leagues. And I would go out there and get him if you need some block shots and a few rebounds on the wire this week. The next player is Tony Bradley the OKC Thunder. So we saw flashes of Bradley when he was on the 76ers earlier in the season, when Joel Embiid was out with the injury. But now, obviously, he's on the Thunder after a trade deadline deal with George Hill going to the Sixers on the season. He's ranked 212, is Bradley, 6.8 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, 69% from the foul line, and 66% from the field. So Bradley, we know he can score decently, and he's got a knack for rebounding, and he'll get you about a block a game. The last couple weeks, 9.3 points a game, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block a game here for Bradley. And he's playing about 20, 23 minutes a game. He's topping out, but he's really shown up the last 3 or 4 games here for the OKC Thunder. And this is what I've been saying this week about the Thunder players. The Thunder obviously rebuilding. It's a lost season for them, and they want to see what these young guys have. And Tony Bradley, he's part of that young nucleus here in OKC. So the last few games for Bradley, April 14th versus the Warriors, 13 points, 7 rebounds, and an assist. April 16th at Detroit, 11 points, 7 rebounds, and assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. And last night at Toronto, a down game, only 8 points and 3 rebounds. But if you need rebounds, some blocks, and some scoring, Tony Bradley, he's not a bad ad this week. And he's available in 93% of fantasy leagues. And the 5th and final center, I would look to add on waivers this week's Daniel Gafford, Washington Wizards. So Gafford here, he's been a recommended ad over the last 2 weeks since he came back from his ankle injury, which I thought he was going to miss the whole season with the injury after they had to wheel him off in a wheelchair. But anyway, on the season, he's ranked 252, 5.9 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, 0.5 assists, 1.3 blocks a game, 65% from the foul line, and 67% from the field for Gafford. In the last few weeks since he returned, 10.8 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks a game, 58% from the foul line, and 59% from the field. So the Wizards, they're one of those teams that they got a shot for the 8th seed or the playing game right now. But right now, Gafford, he's been a pretty decent, quiet addition here for this Washington team. And he's producing, and he's helping them with the intangibles and fantasy owners as well as Gafford. So right now, he's available in 75% of fantasy leagues. And I think he's worth an ad. He's playing about 20, 25 minutes a game here for Washington. April 14th at the Kings, 4 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, and a block. April 16th at the Pelicans, 18 points, 7 rebounds, 4 blocks. And then 2 nights ago versus Detroit, 8 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 blocks. So Gafford, he's blocking shots at a high rate. And it's an underrated category this season, I believe, in fantasy basketball. And everything counts. And this guy, he's going to give you good field goal percentage. He's going to score about 8 to 10 points a game, get almost double-digit rebounds, and 2 to 2.5 blocks a game on average. So he's definitely worth an ad as Gafford. A few centers to pick up on the waiver wire in Week 17 of the fantasy basketball season. And good luck in the playoffs to whoever made it in their fantasy leagues.